got a guest coming up who's one of the largest coal producers in the United States who's going to talk about it. He's the founder, chairman, president, and CEO of Murray Energy, which is the largest independent coal mining operation in the United States. He employs over 3,400 people in the coal mining industry. Robert Murray, or Bob Murray, welcome to the George Jarkesy Show.
Thank you.
Well,
George.
we're glad to have you. I got to tell you.
I think so. This war on coal, and it's real, by the Obama administration, his appointees, unelected, and his supporters, is a war of about 40 states that are heavily coal-fired in their generation of electricity against 10 states. Coal-fired electricity, George, is 4 cents a kilowatt hour. The wind and solar powered electricity that President Obama supports is 22 cents a kilowatt hour, and it gets $24 a kilowatt hour from the taxpayer. You asked before what's going to happen to our electric rates in the preamble to your program here. The PJM interconnection is a group of 13 electric utilities east of the Mississippi River. They have an auction every quarter where they sell power to one another. The power 5 weeks ago at the auction went up 800%, 8 times for 15 and 16 as we are paying for power in 11 and 12. This is a problem for all America. When somebody mentions coal, everybody should start thinking about what are the electric rates going to be for people on fixed income. What are the electric rates going to be for anyone manufacturing a product to compete in a global marketplace? Electricity is a staple of life, and it's up 800% in the PJM interconnection auction 5 weeks ago. It's not a prediction. It's already happened. Now, that's the incremental power that the utilities sell to one another. And those
let's stop. Bob, let's jump in there, though. Let's just make sure that everybody listens. What Bob's saying is your future has already been decided. The auctions happened, and that price is 800% of what you're paying now.
That's the incremental power. Some utilities said, and they put it in their press releases, there's going to be brownouts and blackouts, there's power shortages in 15 and 16, so we're going to buy power from the other utilities. That's not all power. That's incremental power. But it answers your question, sir, as to where are we headed. Obama is destroying this country by destroying low-cost electricity, which is a staple of life. I grew up poor, and I am worried about how people are going to pay their electric bills. I don't know how we're going to compete in the global marketplace, particularly when China is building a new 500-megawatt power plant, coal-fired, every week, and has been for years, every week. He wiped out 83,000 megawatts of Ohio, or I should say American electricity. Obama did it with his leadership or lack thereof, and his radical followers.
Well, and let's back up. You've hit on a number of key points. I mean, the fact is you cannot have a thriving economy and a global competitive economy if you have one of the highest coal production or higher power production cost in the world.
Right.
If your power is too high, you can't compete.
Right, George. What we're doing, not only are we exporting the low-priced coal to China, where they're building a new 500-megawatt power plant every week, we're going to export the jobs behind that because it takes low-cost electricity to manufacture a product for the global marketplace.
Through the EPA and the Sierra Club, they've actually held back exports because the international price for natural gas and the international price for coal are both substantially higher than the domestic markets. And so they've fixed the markets here domestically by stopping exports. And so we're only exporting, about 6 or 7% of our coal production right now?
At a maximum, sir.
And so the fact is the international market is substantially higher, and they've created a false market here at home. And someday everybody knows that market's going to have to adjust to reality. And you're right. The jobs are going to follow the coal over to China and over to India and the places
Remember,
that have
Obama
cheap power.
said he wanted electricity prices to skyrocket, did he not? Skyrocket was his word in referring to electricity. He's making good on that. He also said you can build a coal-fired power plant in America, but I'll bankrupt you. Biden said no coal in America. They're making good on their campaign promises.
So, what I think people don't fully realize is just how much or how important coal is to the cheap power that we've had over the years.
You are correct in that. I do not believe the average American right now has had an opportunity to learn the significance of what Obama's war on coal is going to mean to them and their lives, their children, and their children's children. President Obama has closed 175 coal-fired power plants by 2020. That is a very significant 83,000 megawatts of electricity. That is a huge chunk of the American electricity supply, and it's historically been 4 cents a kilowatt hour electricity. While Obama promotes his crony capitalist friends, such as GE, in windmills and
or Solyndra. You can have Solyndra,
solar,
things like that.
It's 22 cents a kilowatt hour, 4.5, 5 times more, and it gets $24 a kilowatt hour from the taxpayer. It shouldn't even exist. It artificially exists.
Yeah, it does not make money. The only way is it's had 20 years of subsidies from the government. And they're trying right now to actually re-up subsidies, believe it or not. They're trying to extend the subsidies as we speak in the Senate.
I have a CEO friend of the largest electric utility in the industry. He's required to be connected to 3,800 megawatts of wind power. We had a major flood in Ohio last year. He needed the power. He was connected to 3,800. George, he had 18 megawatts to call on because the wind wasn't blowing. This is nonsense. This is insanity. And Obama is destroying this country with these policies he's doing. I think we need all forms of energy in this country. There's to be a 34% increase in the use of electricity between now and 30. We need it all. And there's a place for natural gas.
Well,
we have to be careful. At $3.50 an MCF, natural gas is competitive with coal. But natural gas has typically and historically been $8 a kilowatt hour. It's a very volatile fossil fuel. It's up and down. Coal power and coal supplies have been very stable in price. And they're solid fuel. You can count on them. There are no storage problems. With natural gas, it's very volatile, the supply, the demand, the storage. So we cannot rely too heavily on natural gas, but I say use it as long as the price is lower than coal.
Well, let's go to another thing. I mean, you hear Obama say he's doing everything he can for the economy, but I mean, you've recently done a pretty good sized layoff. Patriot Coal is in bankruptcy. A lot of coal companies right now in this Obama environment and this overreaching EPA. I mean, you've been attacked on multiple fronts by the Obama administration and their henchmen, and it's caused you to actually have to shut down or pull back operations, which meant real job loss.
Yes, sir, that is true. I laid off 239 employees last week, 29 the week before, and I have a 350-employee mine. It's not been announced. It has been shut down since last Monday. We're trying to keep it going. This man is insane, and his radical supporters in the rules and regulations. We can't get permits for the mines. If you can't get permits, you can't operate the mines. It's called a train wreck. The dozen regulatory actions that he has taken against the utilization of coal. But, George, to me, it's a human issue. I'm talking to you from down in the hills of southeastern Ohio today. I live among my employees. I grew up with them. I worked in those mines for 16 years. To me, it's a human issue.
But it's a human issue. It's a human.
Country loses their jobs. They've lost it all because if they own anything, it's their homes. And when they lose their jobs, there's nobody to sell that home to. And these very people, George, that just want to work in honor and dignity, are denied that right for the rest of their lives. And this is not the United States of America that I cherish.
Well, I mean, and you're not talking about a little number. You're talking about 1% of the workforce, either directly or indirectly, works inside the coal industry. People don't think about the fact that coal's got to be trucked, it's got to have a train, it's got to have a power plant, it's got to be supplied. I mean,
very good point. Our spin-off is 11-1. For every direct job that I have in the mines, and I have 3,298 direct employees at the present time, the university studies show that up to 11 jobs are created in the communities for the goods and services, the spin-off to transportation, all of the jobs that you're talking about. So with my 3,300 jobs, I count for about 40,000 jobs in America. I take that responsibility very seriously. Sir, I built all of that from a mortgaged home, selling my children's toys, and doing what I had to do. Mr. Obama and the government didn't help me do any of that. But they have destroyed it, and they're in the process of doing it. And I am working night and day to try to push back, to try to maintain these jobs, because I know the name of my employees, and it's a human issue to me. We can't let this man continue. He is. I can't tell where his incompetence and his lack of having any job skills at all. He never had a job. He certainly never created a job. I can't tell where the two start and end. But if you would see the employees, he's brought 275,000 of them to Washington. If you would see the people that are telling us how to run our mines, safety, environmental, in every department.
Well, listen, it's no question that Obama has attacked your business and the entire coal industry, not only from the EPA, but from MSHA and from, I would also say, the number of other agencies he's used in his attack. And I hope you keep up a good fight. America needs you to keep that fight up. We do need coal until they come up with a better fuel that can compete, keep us competitive internationally. And I do appreciate everything you've done for the country and for your employees. And thank you for being on the show today, Bob.
Thank you, George, for having me. I appreciate it very much, sir.